Domestic violence is a great issue that affects a large number of people in our society today. Any kind of abuse can either be physical, emotional, or psychological. Is termed as domestic violence. According to the national survey by the Kenya government, 39% of women and 21% of men in Kenya have experienced physical violence from an intimate partner at some point of their lives. And in a survey conducted by the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey, 42% of women aged between 15 to 49 in Kenya reported experiencing some form of violence from their partners. In addition, between January and May 2020, the Gender Violence Recovery Center in Nairobi received 5,019 reports of domestic violence, an increase from 1,100 reports during the same period in 2019, highlighting the impacts of COVID-19 on domestic abuse in Kenya. Only 16% of women who experience domestic violence in Kenya seek help or report the abuse to authorities, indicating the urgent need for increased awareness, prevention, and support services for survivors. Today, we get an opportunity to speak with some of the victims who will help us understand the issue from their own life experience.
Never thought I'd be a victim, but I am. My name is Edafin Amondi. I'm a victim of domestic violence.
My name is Hussein Omar Ndamwe, and I'm a victim of domestic violence.
How was the relationship initially?
He was the sweetest and the most caring boyfriend. 1 year later, we got married. And I wouldn't have accepted his proposal if I had known about the violent streak of him. He never showed his anger to me before. I remember clearly the first day he hit me. It was just after our honeymoon. He came home drunk and I let him in. I shouldn't have let him in. But being that I was the wife, I had nothing, I couldn't do anything. He entered my house and complained about the food not being properly cooked. In a few minutes, I had my hand being grabbed.
So, Hussein, what was your experience?
It was a very dark time, and I resorted to self-harm to cope with the pain and frustrations. One day Lulu caught me up, and I was trying to cut myself, and that was the time when I saw the face of the devil. I had never seen her that mad before, and she insulted me, calling me names, and she finally told me that I deserve to die because I have nothing to live for. And she used a belt to hit me, and at that position I was very fragile, and I couldn't defend myself anymore since I was very weak.
The moment that took a turn for me, he came home drunk as usual. The baby was roughly at 1 year old. He began beating me because of not washing the utensils and doing the house chores immediately after cooking. I couldn't do all the chores because of the little one that I was having. After he was done hitting me, he looked at the baby with evil eyes. That's when I realized I was supposed to leave. The baby is not supposed to be involved in this because she didn't make any wrong choice in choosing the man. So I stood up, grabbed the child, and headed to the door. The drunkard couldn't follow me, and that's how I left.
Later on, one of my friends came to me to rescue me as they had a bit of idea what I was going through. Because of my wounds and strained relationship with the lady that I thought she was the one, and At first, I refused to seem to be helped when he was talking to me, because as a man I saw that is a kind of an embarrassment to be helped while I was undergoing those violences in my own home. And I took a while to accept my situation, but finally we went to the therapy and filed charges against Lulu.
If you or any of your loved one faces any case that is related to domestic violence, is free to contact a Kenyan-owned non-governmental organization titled End the Silence.
My name is Latasha Samo, the CEO and founder of End the Silence, an NGO that aims to protect victims of domestic violence.
My name is Mutiso Nduku, the Secretary General of the End of the Silence.
Domestic violence is a serious problem affecting many people in our world today. Our organization is committed to helping victims of domestic violence by providing them with a safe place to stay, access to resources, and support services that will enable them to begin their healing process. Our shelters are designed in a way to provide a confidential and a secure place for the victims away from their abusers. We also provide support services such as counseling, legal advocacy, and case management. End the Silence is committed to creating awareness about the issue on domestic violence and promoting prevention efforts. We work with schools, community groups, and organizations to teach people and educate them on the science of domestic violence, and also to share the available resources for the victims.
That everyone has the right to live a life free from abuse and violence. We as the organization, we are committed to supporting domestic violence victims into their journey towards safety and health. If you or someone you know is undergoing domestic violence, you can contact End the Silence for more help and support.
Law enforcement deal with domestic violence issues daily. Let us hear from one of them and what is his take about domestic violence.
Hello, I am Gideon Tubei. As a law enforcer, seeing the state of domestic violence in our society is so concerning. It is a serious crime that may have long-lasting physical and emotional effects on its victims, and we should take a strong stance against it. One of the biggest challenges we face as law enforcers is that these cases might go unreported. Victims may feel scared to come forward, or they believe that nothing can be done to help them. At the end of the day, our goal as law enforcers is to prevent domestic violence from occurring. This requires a varying approach from law enforcement, community education, and outreach. By working together, we can create a safer space for everyone.
Next, we have a legal advisor who will share with us insights related to domestic violence. She will share her personal experience when dealing with cases related to domestic violence.
Hello, my name is Umekulsum Yusuf Ali. I've been a legal advisor for a few years now. I've dealt with cases concerning physical violence, emotional abuse, and sexual assault. I have helped victims navigate the legal system. Furthermore, I have collaborated with support agencies that provide assistance to the victims.
What do you think are some of the biggest challenges in prosecuting cases of domestic violence?
One of the biggest challenges in prosecuting cases of domestic violence is the lack of witnesses. The only witness in cases of domestic violence is the victim, so it would be hard to defend that case. Victims may retaliate because of fear or concerns of privacy. Sometimes the prosecutors of domestic violence may manipulate the victims so that they cannot testify. The challenge is the lack of resources available for domestic victims. Victims may not have access to counseling, legal representation, and other support services. They can also have financial challenges, like they may not be able to take leave from work or don't have the fees to ask for legal help. The challenge that many domestic victims face is the stigma associated with domestic violence. They are forced to keep quiet or they will be judged for seeking help. they may not understand the dynamics concerning domestic violence.
What legal measures can be taken to protect victims of domestic violence who are afraid to come forward?
One of the legal measures that domestic violence should take is a restraining order. This will help them not to contact the victims. Next is support groups. They make people feel safe and empowered to ask for legal help. They also provide legal resources to victims of domestic violence. It is also essential to provide education to the members of the legal system like judges, prosecutors. They will help provide education and awareness to the victims of domestic violence, which will make the legal process easier.
Having spoken with the victims, it is clear that domestic violence is an issue that should not only be tackled by the government, but also the people in the society. My name is Anthony Wainaina.